Hello, Steve Cypress here, and as you can see, I am surrounded by what we call Planet Dan. And people are always asking me, boy, you're always promoting Dan Kennedy. It's Dan Kennedy this, Dan Kennedy products, Dan Kennedy newsletters, Dan Kennedy seminars. It's all about Dan Kennedy. Well, I'm shooting this video to show you that I'm not just promoting Dan Kennedy because I think that could be possibly a good idea, or because Dan Kennedy pays me money to promote his stuff. Of course, I get paid when people take advantage of Dan Kennedy stuff through my promotions, but that's not why I promote it. It's the opposite. I promote it because Dan Kennedy changed my life. Okay, before I met Dan Kennedy, I was a business owner, but I was struggling. I was hit or miss. Some promotions would work, some things would not work. I didn't know why, so I didn't know what to duplicate or how to do it again. Certainly couldn't teach it to people, and life was full of ups and downs, and more downs than ups. And about 2003 or 4, I discovered Dan Kennedy. I actually saw this Dan Kennedy bobblehead on the desk in somebody's office who had the phone ringing off the hook with leads. And I said, what's up with the grown man on a bowl? The bobblehead? I mean, I've seen bobbleheads of baseball and football players. What's up with a guy in a suit on a bowl? And he said, how do you think the phone's ringing off the hook? How do you think we're getting all those leads? It's a guy named Dan Kennedy. And I subscribe to his newsletter, and I'm flying out to what he calls the super conference, and that's how I do everything. And immediately I wanted to know more about who that guy is. And so I started to, I think the first thing I got was probably just, probably subscribe through a free trial of the No BS marketing letter. And you see here about 8 or 9 years or so full of newsletters and the CDs and the special reports and the swipe files and all the stuff that's been coming to me for years. Also, over here I have all the Dan Kennedy books. I have even some of them twice. When there's an updated version, I'm buying it again. Some I have that I bought more than once because I have a signed copy. And I started to realize, first of all, this guy knows what he's talking about, and every single time that I gave something a shot that Dan taught, it made me money. Now, I have a college degree, I have a law degree, and yet, so I spent a lot of money on, quote, education, which I really call schooling as opposed to education. I spent a lot of money on schooling, and you might have also, and the one thing they never taught me in high school or college or law school is how to make money. And that's one of the reasons we see the kids come out of college, they can't get a job, there's all this unemployment. I meet with business owners that I've been consulting with and meeting thousands of them, and it's usually the same thing. They're very good at doing what they do. They don't know how to make money. Well, Dan is different. When I invest in Dan Kennedy and anything from Dan on Planet Dan, it makes me money. And that's why I encourage everybody to have the transformation of income and lifestyle and peace of mind that I've had thanks to Dan Kennedy. So you see some of the stuff here, some of the CDs, DVDs, the books, tapes, courses, programs, newsletters. Got other stuff here that I couldn't face towards the camera. Here's the original magnetic marketing with my bookmarks on which letters I was using. Then, of course, we have the updated magnetic marketing. We have a Dan Kennedy XXX rated sales strategies. I mean, that was about, I don't know, $300. We have special reports that come from Dan. Anytime I can read anything from him, I'm getting it. Here's some of the swipe file stuff that they send, and the Renegade Millionaire newsletter. Special report from Dan, another special report from Dan. Then we have courses like the Copywriting Mastery and Boot Camp. I think that was about $2,000 or so. Wealth Attraction for Entrepreneurs. I don't know how much that was. We have stuff from Glazer Kennedy, some Bill Glazer stuff like copywriting and swipe files, and this is all the Glazer Kennedy kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe another $1,000 or so. Here is materials from attending live Dan Kennedy events. You ever get a chance to go to a live event, you need to get there. This is from one of the annual info summits from 2008, it says, and you got the binders like this. I think that was it's about $2,500 to attend, plus the airfare, the hotel, the days away from work. Here's the one from the next year, 2009. Here's the Phenomenon toolbox, filled with all kinds of stuff there. Here's the Max Profits online course. I think this is about $2,500 for this online course, and you can see I'm not just seeing this stuff, I'm writing down, taking notes on every single thing. I've watched all these videos 2, 3, 4 times. See, what happened is I experienced such a transformation in my life from implementing what Dan Kennedy teaches that I started teaching it to other small business owners and entrepreneurs. I've always loved small business owners and entrepreneurs. My mom was a school teacher. My dad was a business owner. So I'm kind of a mix, or an exact mix. I love to teach, and I love to teach small business owners. And thanks to Dan Kennedy, I get to teach them what makes money. So not only am I going to all these courses just for myself, but it's helping me to help my clients and my members to revolutionize their lives as well. Here's the personality and copy. Here's the new magnetic marketing. So yeah, I had the old version. Well, the new version came out in the course. Had to get it immediately. The toolkit full of all the letters from there. A Rich Coach Day. Two things, I think, from another live event, one of the info summits. That magnetic marketing was only like $600 to get these. There's some swipe files that I got. I think those are like $100 a piece, or got them as a bonus with something. Inside the Mind of the Millionaire Maker, maybe $500. Dan's always talking about his $100,000 club. People who have invested at least 6 figures with Dan Kennedy. Well, I'm easily way into that club, and you're seeing some of the proof of that. Here is Copywriting Secrets and the Copywriting Clinic. These were the manuals. I think you see here like 4 cases full of CDs and DVDs. How to write $1 million ads, sales letters, and web marketing pieces, CDs and manuals. More copywriting seminar in a box. Renegade Time Productivity Strategies. I'd be nowhere without this thing. That changed my life. Dan teaches us how to do business on our own terms. Copywriting, creative thinking for entrepreneurs, transcript, presentation, I don't know, $400 or $500. More sales, copywriting boot camp. Peak Reformers. This was, I don't know, about $1,000 a month thing that I was in for about a year and a half. They closed down that program. Advertising workshop. That was a live event. Flew down to Florida for that one. Spent a few days. This is from another Glazer Kennedy Super Conference that they have every year. These are the blueprint secrets and that. Super Conference about $1,500 or $2,500 or whatever it is. Wealth Days with Dan. Fly to Cleveland for that seminar. Pet Promotion Swipe File. Here's an entire folder of information marketing letters. Dan writes more newsletters. This is years worth of newsletters and CDs from there. What's this one? This is another big binder full of info marketing letters. So another couple of years there of the Info Marketing Association. This is from an Info Marketer Info Summit, rather. It's the Info Marketer of the Year entries. Here's Super Conference Mark of the Year stuff. Some more Super Conference Mark of the Year. Some more stuff from the Super Conference. Renegade Millionaire Retreat. Course materials, a couple of $1,000 for that, I think. Advanced Coaching and Consulting Boot Camp. I think that was about a $3,000 thing. More information, Info Summit stuff. 10 million marketing secrets. Personality and copy CDs. Here's another big binder with what's in this one. Copy Confidential. So this is a look over my shoulder of Dan as he shows you samples of actually writing copy, and the Copy Confidential there. Here's a whole binder full of weekly faxes from Dan. I'm at the level with Dan's great Glazer Kennedy group where I get a fax from Dan every week. Here's another seminar I went to with Dan Kennedy. Here's another coaching and consulting, not the advanced one. This was the first one there. That was another couple of $1,000 into that thing there. And you get all the, these are like some of the manuals, and you see all the CDs that we get. Here are the A to Z information marketing blueprints. I have used almost all of the different ways to make money in here for myself and my clients. Again, every penny I've invested in Dan Kennedy comes back to me and my clients 10, 20, 50, 100 times over. Who can count? It's brought in millions and millions of dollars for me and my clients in all different types of businesses. I haven't seen one yet that it doesn't work in. So anytime Dan's coming out with something new, I'm jumping on it. Here's XXX Sales, this isn't XXX, this is just Sales and Persuasion Strategies from Dan. So certain of success, they ought to require a weapons permit. All right, I didn't actually shoot my prospects with that, but I did help them out and make a lot of money. Another something from the outrageous advertising. Here's Dan Kennedy's Info Riches. Real old picture of who Dan calls back then the Fat Dan. Back before he got the diagnosis of diabetes and started living a more healthy lifestyle. This is another summit mastermind, something or other here. Here's another, my training as running the local Chicago Glazer Kennedy, Dan Kennedy marketing group, and advising. We have a couple of hundred members now, so here's a manual on how to help local business owners use this stuff. Here's another beautiful one, the Renegade Millionaire System, with all the materials that come from there. Oops, stuff is falling all over the place. That's like a couple of grand for that. Here's another Summit Mastermind event binder, another Super Conference binder here, another couple of grand for each of these events, 2,000-3,000 plus travel and expenses. Here's some peak performers stuff. Here's another binder full of, all these binders. I have the monthly CDs and everything. These are miscellaneous CDs and DVDs from Dan over the years. So of course you can't see the titles on these, but I've got all these hundreds more CDs and DVDs in there. Stuff is falling all over the floor, so hang on a sec. Had to disconnect the mic because as you can see, this is a slick Hollywood production, and my mic cord only reaches like the exact distance from here to the camera. So here is the Advanced Coaching Consultant Sales Strategies big whopping manual. Again, that was like a $3,000-$4,000 course. This is the Trust-Based Marketing $10,000 seminar with Dan. You might have heard about that one. That was life-changing in itself there. Plus, not only the information you get at these events, but the people you meet, the connections you make. Okay, folks, me again. I apologize. In all the hubbub over everything falling over the floor, there's one fantastic thing I forgot to mention, so I'm splicing this in later. So real quick, this is my new favorite toy. It's the iPad, and anyone who knows me knows I'm not an iPad kind of guy. I barely know how to make my BlackBerry work. I send and receive about one text message a month, but they came out with this, what they call the iMarket, which is all the Dan Kennedy resources put onto an iPad. So of course now I had to buy an iPad. And actually I was in an airport recently. I'm always traveling to events and to see clients all over the country. And somebody asked me, hey, how do you like your iPad? And I was like, I don't even use the thing. I know it does all kinds of crazy stuff, but this is what I use it for. And I get to put my headset, I plug in these earphones in here somewhere, and I'm listening to this on the plane, in the hotel, all over the place. It's got some of the same stuff, but this is all in my office, and I need my Dan Kennedy everywhere I go. I need to refer to it. I need it to work with clients with it. So you probably can't see from back there. This thing keeps flipping around on me. But here's like this Renegade Millionaire Marketing thing. You can see it's not just, I erased the whole thing, but or I exit out of it, but it's not just sitting here. It says right here, presentation materials viewed 100%, transcript viewed 100%, audio, CD 1, 2, 3, 4, listen to 100%, 100%, 100%. It's not just sitting here. I'm referring to it, listening to it, and going through it over and over and over again. So I just had to show you also just one more thing on the pile of all my Dan Kennedy stuff. Now back to the regular video before I interrupted it. And I got a little out of whack here with all the different stuff. I know there's some stuff I didn't go through, but I think you get the point, and I think that's enough to show you that I am a firm, implanted believer and member of Planet Dan. I'm going to grab everything he has. I'm going to use it to make money for myself, use it to make money for my clients, for my members in my groups. I'm genuinely spreading the word about Dan Kennedy. I am not spreading the word about Dan Kennedy just because I want to sell stuff to other people. Even if I didn't recommend it to anybody and Dan never paid me a dime, Dan has changed my life and the life of my clients. So I highly recommend and would love to have you join me on Planet Dan. Don't have to get started and immediately whip into the six-figure club and buy every single thing there is. Get something, get started, get to know how much Dan can help you in your business. And if you are getting anything from of Dan based through my recommendation, of course I will help you to implement it. So I add that in, and plus for this latest Dan Kennedy program that's out, you can look below, and I've put together a whole bunch of bonuses which include my personal help one-on-one to help you to implement this. I fully hope that as you're watching this video, you're sitting there, whatever you're worrying about, whatever you're concerned about, whatever your fears, or desires or hopes are that thanks to Dan Kennedy and me helping you to implement what Dan teaches, you can completely change your life, change your income, change your lifestyle, have the business, the lifestyle of your dreams. That's what I've been able to do thanks to Dan. That's what I hope for you too.